Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich with your Christo-Pagan catechism-ish type session for the church that we're starting up here on YouTube on January 2nd will be our first service. So, if you would like to be a founder for this church, absolutely, you can definitely do that. Go down, hit up the Patreon. You can be a patron for as little as $5. Sophia is a patron. Be like Sophia. So, yes, thank you, Sophia, for that. So last week we discussed how I will be preparing specifically for the church services to conduct the services. And one thing I wanted to say about this is if you would like to do a service, then absolutely, hit me up, let me know. I would be very willing to, um, you know, have somebody do a service for a Sunday or something like that. I think this is a good use of excuse me, a community space. I tried to inhale and exhale at the same time. It didn't quite work out for me there. I would really like to see uh, multiple people in the community using this as a community space in order to have a church service, whatever deity is saying to those individuals, to impart a message. I think that would be a wonderful thing. So, like I said, last week we discussed how specifically I'm going to get ready for it. If you are one giving a service, I would encourage, it is not required. There's very little requirements to this church, but I would suggest that you do something similar as well to prepare yourself, especially if you're the one giving the service, to prepare yourself, because this is not a light, or it's not something to be taken lightly. It's not something that is frivolous. It's not like, get up and give my TED talk, even though, you know what, some TED talks are very very touching, very moving, very personal, and I don't want to negate that at all. So but it is a very it's a very big deal. I don't know how else to say it right now, but it's a very I don't want to say daunting, because daunting wouldn't be the right word, but it's a very important thing to, whenever you're imparting something that deity has put on your mind or on your heart to share with others. It's very serious. So I would suggest that if you are to give a service of this type in the future, to absolutely, go with the steps of purifying yourself, getting yourself ready, and like I'm doing, at least, is getting rid of anything that is individual to me and going to something that is a stark type of setting with the clothes that I will be wearing. In this case, ritual clothes, as in a cassock and clericals. So the Roman collar, as it's commonly known. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is setting up circle. Now, traditionally, I would do this with a wand. However, I have kind of been called to use this athame. This athame, I don't have anything etched into it. I don't have anything etched on my other athame, but on this one, I specifically do want to etch specifically the archangel names on this blade. The reason that I want to do that, and I will get into that here in a minute, is because we are going to be calling the archangels forward. Okay, let me quit waving this around like a fool. So what I will be doing with this particular blade is I'm going to utilize it for both air and fire, as a commanding type of tool. It is not as light and airy, not as gentle as the wand. It is very commanding in its way of use, which is one reason I don't usually use it in my normal practice. Usually whenever I use a tool such as anathema, usually it's a wand, whenever I use it in my practice, I use it in a much gentler way to direct energy and whatnot. But in this case, especially setting up the circle, I wanted to have something with a lot of force, with a lot of commanding uh, energy behind it, with a lot of commanding oomph to it. So I chose to go with the blade. So I will be using this blade. Um, a couple things that it actually calls back for me is the sword that is guarding the Garden of Eden. Now, I'm not saying that our temple is like the Garden of Eden, but you know what? Kind of, yes. It is the same type of presence of, in order to get into this area, you will end up dying first. And that is the type of sentiment that I want to give to any type of entity that is even thinking about crossing into our temple area, into the circle. The reason that I am being so forthright with this and so forceful with this is because this is our sacred space with deity, not only myself, which normally with just me, I'm like, okay, you know, it's me and deity, and if somebody walks into the circle that, you know, might not need to be here, I'm going to just personally get rid of them, um, and that will be that. However, in this type of setting, because we are all together in this cyberspace outside of time and outside of place, we are together, and I don't want anything, any type of entity interrupting not only the message from deity, but also the community that we are involved in with each other in this one area. Like I said, these are going to be they're going to be posted for premiere on YouTube, so you'll be able to see them and be able to comment on them, be in a little chat with me and all that stuff, so we can all like go back and forth and, you know, talk to one another, you know, kind of like whenever you're sitting in church and in the pews and you're like, hey, you know, I kind of agree with him on that one, or I don't agree with him on that one. And you can share those thoughts and feelings in real time. Absolutely. I totally expect that, and I hope you take advantage of that. Still trying to get a solid plan as to when that works for the majority of everybody. But I thought with that type of undertaking of having, you know, individuals in the same place at the same time watching this video, I thought that it would be a serious enough undertaking that you create a circle of holy fire. And that's not really incredibly different from a normal circle. A normal circle for me is just, you know, nice blue energy, sort of like what we have going on right there. Okay, so sort of like that. But in this case, I want it to be something that is, you know, not, it's holy fire, you know, nothing that is malevolent in any way, shape, or form is able to cross through. Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to do. And the way that I'm going to be doing that is by saying certain prayers while doing the circle. It's not going to be anything mysterious and whatnot. I just want to write it out first. So I don't have it written down to share with you as of right now. I'm still trying to get the wording just right. So I wanted to do that before I share that with y'all. And whenever I do these videos, my plan as of right now is to actually make sure that everything is it's all written out and put in the closed captioning. So for those who are hearing impaired, you don't have to rely uh, on the closed captioning guessing of YouTube. I do believe that's a thing. If it's not, it should be. Come on, YouTube, get your stuff together here. Um, so I will be putting a closed captioning. I will also be putting the script and everything for the ritual and the actual service and everything itself. I will be putting into the onto the ChristoPaganism.com blog. So do check those out as well. Uh, there's a lot of writing that's going to be taking place, here. Yeah. And what this really does is it sets the temple space for the presence of deity to be present after a thorough cleansing of the circle itself. I'm going to actually put this over here because I can't stop holding this. And I know what's going to happen is I'm going to end up stabbing myself here on camera. And because I don't want to edit a whole bunch, you'll probably end up seeing it. Anyway. Now, since we have created this circle, and I've explained circle casting in the past, so, you can check out those videos for the circle casting specifically. Since we have done that, then it is time to invoke the elements. Like I said, on this sword, I'm going to be putting an etching of the archangels, who we will be invoking into our circle. Putting that right back over there, because otherwise I'm going to stab myself. And you will all see it. Very gruesome, very violent. Anyway, so now we have the circle set up. And nothing's going to get in there, right? One would think. However, we also want sentries at the coordinates, at the cardinal directions, in order to make sure that nothing else gets in. However, they're also going to make sure that things that we do want to come in are allowed passage. So if we need a little bit of air energy coming in, a little bit of, y'all have read The Outer Temple of Witchcraft. If you haven't, or actually, I think it might have been in the that was in the Inner Temple of Witchcraft, where we may need to borrow from one element or another in order to get that balance. So they actually have a very busy job making sure that the energies are balanced as they need to be. Another thing that they are doing is they are making sure that nothing that is unwelcomed is able to pass through the fire. It may not be something that is malevolent, but certainly something that we don't want to have come in, such as maybe an earthbound that is looking for the light. You know what? If an earthbound is looking for the light, they can come by during my normal business hours and, say, hey, can you create a portal for me to go off into the light? Really kind of need help here. And I will help them. However, during our service, probably not the best time to be coming around and throwing me off my game. Let's be honest. Okay, so I will be calling on the archangels to join in the circle, or at the cardinal directions, for the entirety of circle. Now, I will be starting in the east. The reason that I start in the east is because that is the direction of the rising sun. That is how we see the day start and whatnot. So everybody looks to the east. That's also a Masonic thing. If you didn't know, that is very much Masonic, is that everything faces towards the east. All your commands come from the east. So very much a thing for me. So yeah, we're going to start with the east and then go to the south, west, north, and then we'll be finished with that. Another thing that I wanted to say is that whenever I invoke the elementals at the elemental archangels at their respective directions, I will also be doing the invoking pentagram at each location. And I'm basically, because I have the sword in my hand, I'm going to be commanding that the archangels come there. Not that I don't think that they would do it willingly, but I'm commanding them to stand sentry at the cardinal directions, because after all, like I've said, we are invoking deity. We are bringing deity into the space to be part of our community, of our circle, of our ritual here, and I don't want anything getting through. And they need to do their job and be damn good at it. So yes, we're going to have them there, and they are going to protect our temple. So after the archangels are there, the circle has been cast, the archangels are there, and then I will be going around the circle with an incense. Now, this is going to be a holy incense, and might be one of the things that are in a giveaway that I am doing. A little shameless plug here. If you go to the link below for the giveaway, you could be one of the people winning the giveaway. Go to that video. The instructions are in there how to enter. So watch that. Enter to win. I think we're up to 2 people. So, you know, if you're the third person, then you have a 33 and a third repeated chance of getting the box of goodies that I'm sending out. And I'm sending them wherever in the, you know, known universe, world. Let's keep it terrestrial. Let's keep it on the globe somewhere. So, yeah. The holy incense that I will be utilizing will be incensed around or, you know, fumigating the our temple area, the circle area. So that will draw out anything that is within that circle, because remember, we have the circle and the archangels standing guard, making sure nothing gets in. But what about the stuff that was already inside whenever we cast the circle? We now have to shove that out. So I will be sensing the area with an incense that is a holy incense. And yeah, I just got to make some of that up now. I do know what is going in there. I just need to mix it up. So that is something that is going to be happening within the next couple days. And you know what? I might actually do that on a Witchy Wednesday video. So I think maybe, let's not hold me to that one. So I'm going to go through the area, and I'm going to basically fumigate any negative energies, anything that's negative that's within this circle area, out of it. We're gonna get it all clean. The next thing that we do, or that I'm going to do, is I'm going to run a bell through there. I just kind of liven up the energies, kind of get them up and vibrating and whatnot. This could be done with the bell that I showed in last week's video, or it could be done with a singing bowl. How about that one? That's right over there that I'm looking at. I haven't used my singing bowl too much, but I kind of want to use it. And I might just be using that in these services. So something to look forward to there if you like a singing bowl. We could also, I always get the word wrong, asperge, meaning sprinkling holy water. So with that, you can do a little little spritz of holy water in places, and, you know, deem the area holy ground and whatnot. Now, I haven't truly decided on that one, and the only reason being because, you know, whenever you're working with holy water, it gets a lot of things wet. So I'm a little on the fence about whether or not I want to use that, because after all, I'm, like I said, going to have my service all printed up and nice, so I can actually read it with my aging eyeballs, and not be doing so many ahs and ums like I'm doing in this video. However, If I go around with the holy water, is going to get all over that stuff. It's going to get wet. It's, it's not going to be a fun day, at least for me. Not filming, at least. It's not going to be fun. And I don't really want to have that happen. So I'm trying to think whether or not holy water is going to be a part of the cleansing of circle. After all, we're cleansing by fire and we're cleansing by sound. And if we cleanse with the holy water, then we are cleansing with water, of course, and earth, because there is salt in it. So, something I need to think about a little bit. I kind of like the mixture of energies all being equal. So I kind of want to, but I have to make sure that nothing, that certain things don't get wet. The first 3 rows specifically. If you get that reference, then, well, you're probably as old as I am, or older. So those are going to be the ways that we cleanse the space and get the space ready. Now, at this point, we are ready to welcome in deity. So, with that, join me next week for that. Next week, I want to discuss invoking deity, bringing deity down to the altar space, since, of course, we now have it all set up and ready for them. And then I want to discuss kind of the setup for before the service itself, my goals with the service itself, and then some of the things that are happening after the service as well. So there's still a lot of components that I want to talk to, and I want to get into a little bit deeper, but with those individual items, getting into it a little bit deeper. And the reason I didn't want to spend too much time on circle casting and elementals is because I covered it not too long ago. But also because many of you are familiar with this. I think many of you will be familiar with the overall setup for the church in its entirety, but with a little Christo-Pagan twist. So, that's about all that I have for this week. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. This is probably going to be about 20 minutes or so once I edit everything down that's bad. As far as me slipping up and almost stabbing myself and whatnot, that type of thing. Anyway, next week we're going to talk about invoking deity, and then what we do right before the service part, the actual, the homily, if you will, and then the homily itself, and then after the homily and what comes from that. My specific goals and everything that I would like people to take away from the individual services. So we'll discuss that here next week. Same time, same place, same bat time, same bat channel. With all of that being said, I do hope that you are finding these useful. I really do hope so. I'm really looking forward to actually sitting down and doing these services and whatnot. This video for Sophia, our Patreon patron, I do apologize that this video is coming up a little bit on the late side for your early viewing pleasure. This week has kind of had a little kink in it, so yeah, this video in and of itself is coming up a little bit on the late side. Yesterday's was a little bit later than I wanted it to be, but I'm getting on the ball. I'm getting better at it. Tomorrow my partner and I are going to the Ren Fair, and we're going to pick up some fun objects that are going to go probably in that little box that I'm sending out. So I might also do a video on what's in the box. Yeah. Anyway, maybe I'll do that like whenever I'm actually pulling the name. I think that'll be fun. So, yeah, I think that's how I'm going to play it. If you want what's in the box, click the link. It's a link. Just click it. And then watch the video. And then do the things the video tells you to do. But anyway, Yeah, I'm done promoting. Like, dislike, all that good stuff. Subscribe, all that stuff. Bell notification. Yeah, you know it. You know the YouTube drill. All that stuff. Um, yeah, I'm really excited about this. Like, actually doing the church services and whatnot. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be um, helpful. At least I hope that it will be helpful for those out there who yearn for community within the Christo-Pagan community, that we all can come together and, have a time of worship at least once a week. So I hope that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, enough yammering on, Rich. Just close out the video. Until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye.